We've been home now a little bit more than 24 hours. Dale had a rough night because he didn't take any pain medicine. So overnight, I woke up just hearing him wailing. So I knew it was time for a pain pill. He has a hard time labeling his pain. So now it's 2 a.m. and I'm awake, so I might as well have some coffee. So I'm going to do it just like in the hospital. I'm going to use instant coffee. And here it is. There's no sugar in this. And in my coffee, I'm going to have my coconut milk, half a cup, which is 3 grams of net carbs. And I'm going to have the half a teaspoon of liquid stevia. 1 can of coconut milk is going to make 3 servings of coffee. So I'm going to go ahead and mix up 3 and put 2 in the fridge. Normally I'd either use the frother or my stick blender, but I don't want to wash any dishes. So today I'm just going to use a plastic spoon. Now you know me. I prefer to use glass or metal. I really don't like to use plastic, and I really don't like to use the microwave, but you have to adapt for your situation. And right now, I need to save my energy and my time. So, because if I chase perfection right now, I'm just going to be worn out. I have to have the energy to take care of Dale. I'm going to go in and peek and see if he's awake, because we're sleeping now in the living room. Remember, he has 42 staples. The incision is all the way from here to here. So, of course, he still needs pain medicine once in a while, but he doesn't want it. He's asleep in there, and it's quiet. I think the biggest challenge right now is we don't have that fancy hospital bed. The mattress is constantly inflating and deflating to change the pressure points, because last night he complained about his hip hurting. He doesn't stay in bed all day. He does get up, walk around, and move to the chair, but this is just a hospital bed for home, and he doesn't have that fancy mattress. I did order some foam wedges, thank God for Amazon, and hopefully they come today. Prep has been key for me to be able to keep going, because remember, I have rheumatoid arthritis, and I struggle with RA fatigue. Yes, I'm very active. I walk, I garden, but I manage my energy, and now my day is unpredictable. I don't know what's going to pop up. Dale is doing good in recovery, but he still has to have someone with him 24 hours a day for a month. Yesterday I set out chicken and, what was it? Chicken and strawberries. I put them in the fridge to thaw for lunch today. So the strawberries and yogurt is 5.4 grams of net carb. And I already forgot. The green beans is 4.6 grams of net carbs. And that's today's lunch. So then we pulled out of the freezer tomorrow's lunch. Chicken with squash. 5 grams of net carbs. And yogurt with strawberries, just like today. 5.4 grams of net carbs. And we'll leave them in the fridge to thaw all day and overnight. And that'll be lunch for tomorrow. I've got to think ahead. Okay, I took the time to set up the tripod so I could sign easier. That during Dale's hospital stay, he didn't eat for 5 days. Of course, he had IV fluids. So he lost 7 pounds. I'm curious this morning if he's still losing. He's only 173 pounds right now, and he's 6'2", so that's not a good weight. So it's important that I feed him protein. And protein is also important for the surgery to heal and for the liver to grow back. He only has 60% of my niece Maggie's liver right now. And he's not a big meat eater. So meats he does like taco meat or a small hamburger patty, he doesn't feel like eating right now, but he will eat eggs. But you can't eat eggs every meal. So eggs are important for him right now. Plus, I've showed you this before, this sugar-free, low-carb milk, but it doesn't have added vitamins and have that funny aftertaste. I met the nutritionist in ICU. She asked me a lot of questions to get a baseline. And I mentioned this. Oh, yeah, she said, that is a good idea. Ironically, in the hospital, your transplant medications, there's a lot of them. One of them, prednisone, causes your blood sugar to go up. But it's so hard to find sugar-free foods in the hospital. That's interesting. They're just used to shooting people up with insulin. Now, Dale did get insulin in the hospital. I'm not criticizing people who use insulin, but it's ironic they don't have a lot of sugar-free things there. So she told me, sure, go ahead and bring those over, and the goal is to have him drink one every day. It's difficult for him to drink one all at once. And I also talked about this on a recent video, I think. So there's 25 grams of protein and only, let me find it, 6 grams of net carbs. It's a thick yogurt. They also make one called a ratio trio, that's sugar-free, but it doesn't have the added protein. So this is going to be important for Dale's recovery. So let's see now. Yesterday for lunch, he ate one of these, and he had one of these for dinner, with his dinner. And breakfast, he had eggs, bacon, what else? He had this at breakfast yesterday, but he was too full to drink it. And lunch, I'm trying to remember. Lunch was 2 tortillas with butter with, guacamole. I'm surprised. He's in the mood to eat guacamole now. And then dinner was the drink and pancakes, keto pancakes. We'll talk about the foods I prepped right now. So while Dale's healing, for this month, the meals are going to look different than they normally do. He's really not going to be in the mood for pizza or tacos or nachos. But he did recently feel like chips. His mouth's really sensitive, though, from being intubated. And they put the tube in at 1 p.m. and then they didn't take it out until after 10 p.m. So that was a long surgery. At the same time, he also had an NG tube, I think for 1 or 2 days. So his mouth and his throat are really sensitive right now. But he will eat keto pancakes like he ate yesterday. So things that we prep together, and those pancakes, I believe, are 0.7 grams of net carbs. I'll add it on the screen to make sure I'm accurate. So we ate 5 of those yesterday, and they're egg-based pancakes, so they do add quite a bit of protein. He's still eating really slowly and struggling sometimes. It's not like his former appetite. He's also eating keto French toast. I think it's 4.4 grams of net carbs each. They're really simple. They're frozen and I can just warm them up in the toaster. Fast and simple. And it's nice because they don't get soggy. So I think he had these Wednesday for dinner after we got home. Oh, that was a rough afternoon. Came home way too late. And I really struggled. 2 friends drove us home, but I had to pack the car, pack up the housing room, help check out. It was horrible communication from the hospital. Nobody really ever told me they decided to send Dale home. They were waiting on test results. Now, it's the best hospital, but that's pretty typical. They were just taking their time, so I'm a little frustrated because I have my physical limits and I was already exhausted. So things are better now because I realize I have a helper here at home. Let me show you. For upstairs for Dale, which he can't go upstairs right now. He has to stay on the first floor. And downstairs he has a big walker because he's tall. Because the big one can't fit upstairs. It's too narrow up there. I thought, bring that smaller walker down for me. Because honestly, Wednesday I was struggling to walk. But it also gives me a place to sit. Because on this floor I have to really leave it clear for that walker of Dale's. I don't want him to fall. I need to be careful. So there's no place to set up chairs for me. Now, of course, in the living room, I have my recliner. My electric recliner. It's also my bed. But this is perfect. Now with the walker, it can hold things for me. If I'm tired, I can sit down. Or if I need to do something to help Dale with, like socks or a pain patch, I have a place to sit while I work. Okay. Next, he's going to eat a lot of toast. It's important to know base culture makes a variety of, health-conscious breads. They're not all keto. Think about the bread Ezekiel bread that you find in the freezer. It's full of all these healthy ingredients. Base Culture Company is the same, so you have to look for their keto bread. They also make a keto raisin bread, but I don't trust it. I have a hard time seeing how raisins are keto. So we stick with the keto original bread. And this is a dark, heavy bread. It's not a light, white sandwich bread. But Dale really enjoys it. We've tried so many different keto breads through the years. Now, we don't eat wheat, so this doesn't apply to the wheat keto breads in the store. Those will spike Dale's blood sugar. But all the other keto breads we have found, because they're egg-based, they get soggy. You can't make them toast up, make them crispy. But this bread is perfect. It will get crispy, and he'll eat it often. I think I have, 30 loaves in the freezer? So they're all ready to go. There's 4 grams of net carbs for each slice. But they're not high protein. Let's see how many grams of protein. There's only 3 grams of protein in a slice. So this is not one of his high protein foods. He will eat keto waffles. I think it's 1.8 grams of net carbs each. It's egg white based. I don't remember how many grams of protein though. This is made with coconut flour, so they're softer. I also make an almond flour waffle with added cheese, which I know sounds weird, but the shredded cheddar or Colby allows those waffles to get crispy on the outside while tender on the inside, just like a traditional waffle. Because I'm allergic to almonds and allergic to dairy, I decided I wanted to create a waffle for myself. And Dale discovered he likes these better right now. Years ago, he wanted them crispy. But sometimes he feels like those are too dry. And through the years, we've tried different waffles made with whey protein powder. Those were just so dry for us. So the coconut flour waffles are now his favorite. I don't eat them often, but Dale, he really prefers those. And they're simple, just put them frozen in the toaster. Same concept as a French toast. Dale will eat the keto coconut flour tortillas. I made them before we left, and I tweaked the recipe. I reduced the coconut flour, and I was able to get them down to 3 grams of net carbs. And then I forgot to bring them. And I forgot to bring the bread. Now this time, Dale probably will eat these better than before. Now, he didn't eat for 5 days, so he only ate real solid food in the hospital, 2.5 days? But it actually felt like he was eating better in the hospital than eating here. Because of that fancy adjustable mattress. Like, I tried sitting on the corner of that bed and it just went crazy. So at home, he's moving more because he was hooked up to the heparin and the IV just almost until he went home. They just recently transferred him to an oral pill, and that limited his ability to get up and walk. So he's much more active at home. And I think that was part of the challenge. He gets too exhausted and then he doesn't eat much. So we're learning. He needs to rest and then eat and then shower. Or shower, then rest, then eat. But the point is, he gets active, he takes a shower, and then he's too exhausted to eat. He struggles. So we need to make sure that he's rested before he eats. He's only eating half the amount of calories that he needs, and he's going to keep losing weight until we get that up. So we're still tweaking and adjusting. He will eat bacon this time. Since November, after all of the chemo treatments that he had, where they'd go in and put chemo right into the liver, he never had like full body infusions, but he didn't want bacon after those. But this time, he seems to be able to handle it. Now, not in the hospital. Just all soggy bacon, has to be crispy for him. And yesterday he had 2 tortillas. There was a misunderstanding. He thought I was offering coconut flour tortillas. I've typed him out a menu, and he just didn't understand what I meant. He picked almond flour. But he was able to handle these. In the past, no. After a procedure, he couldn't eat these. And I just warmed them up, on a skillet with some butter. I didn't fry them. I didn't make any gelatin because the ICU nutritionist told me about a high-protein gelatin. What's it called? Gelatine. Now, they have all these ones that are full sugar. Don't use those. They have 20 grams of carbs, but they make one that's sugar-free. 4 flavors. Lime, which Dale will not eat. Fruit punch, nope, doesn't like it. Orange, yeah, I'll have that. And grape. I think most are under a gram of carbs, net carbs, because carbs, they don't count net carbs in the hospital. And I think the grape has 2 grams of carbs. So I'm waiting for those to be delivered, and my goodness, they are ridiculously expensive. But they're important right now for Dale's recovery, and if he eats less of other foods, that'll kind of compensate for the cost. I didn't have those ahead of time because I didn't know about them. So I waited to get home to order them because I didn't know when they would arrive. And that'll be an easier food for him to eat. It's small, 20 grams of protein. And to me, it's a lighter food, even though it's thick. I'll show you when they get here. So now, let's see. Still need to make one more, and that's biscuits. I ran out of time prepping before we left. Yesterday, on his pancakes, he did have Chalk Zero blueberry jam. Let's see, 1 tablespoon is, where is it? For this flavor, 2 grams of net carbs. And so I think for 3 days straight, he's had 1 chocolate. Let me show you what they look like in a second. They're 1 gram of net carbs. And now we have to be really careful with food safety. Dale is at high risk for infection. I have to watch the temperatures. I can't leave the food out, prepped. No more of that. And no more blue cheese. No more moldy foods. They're high risk. Your first year of getting rehospitalized is infection. He actually takes 2 anti-infection medicines. But no more blue cheese. So we'll see if he'll like this on his salads. Now remember, not all Primal Kitchen products are sugar-free. So the 2 grams of carbs per tablespoon. And he won't feel like salad right now anymore. But from now on, we have to be careful. Remember, limit keto desserts. These add enjoyment. Now, the chocolate will add calories, which he needs right now, but they're not really nutritious food. They're not high on nutrition. So make sure you're eating your protein, your colorful vegetables, and limit your desserts on a keto diet. So he needs to gain weight right now, but most of the people watching, we, and me included, we don't need to be gaining weight. So you have to watch your calories. In my 8 years of experience doing keto, calories will cause weight gain. They do count on a keto diet. Now in the beginning, you don't have to count calories, or I didn't. I had 150 pounds to lose. And so switching to keto, it just naturally lowered the amount I was eating without counting the calories. But to maintain the weight or to keep losing weight, my experience is I had to start counting calories. We've discovered it's important for us, and it helps me to know if I'm feeding him enough. Normally he eats a little bit below 3,000 calories a day because he's a tall guy. So all of Dale's keto cereals and low-carb cereal we brought to the hospital, but he only ate one, the Honey Graham, the Catalina Crunch Honey Graham. There's no honey in it. It's just flavored like honey. I don't have the bag with me because I emptied it out there at the hospital, but I still have more already prepped, and here's one of them. So there's, for 36 gram serving, there's 5 grams of net carbs. And they have a variety of flavors. And we have the cinnamon. I haven't fed that to him yet. I'm not sure if the cinnamon would be too much on his stomach. And then we have this coconut crunch cereal, which is not keto. This is low carb. It used to be keto, but they changed it. Also, the Catalina Crunch is high in protein. So it has 11 grams of protein. It's not 25 like the milk or the yogurt, but it's still a good source of added protein. Prepping really helped me be ready. Having things ready for the microwave and the toaster. That's just making things simple. Dale's still quiet and asleep, so I'm going to take a chance to drink my coffee and shower. Hopefully I'll come back and show you my and Dale's lunch. But I don't know if this is going to be the last time that I see you. You know, the hospital video that I made, it abruptly ended because I got busy having to go back for educational training. I think the last thing on that video was washing clothes, and it's funny that there's no ending. I came back to the room exhausted. We did a training with the transplant educator. Can't remember all their labels. A really good guy. His name was Sean. Explained in detail everything that we need to do. And the team is on call for us 24 hours a day. You know, what to eat, what not to eat, safety rules, medication, all kind of stuff. Then the pharmacist came, and we had pharmacy training on all the medicine. And she kind of appeared a little bit new to me, but I have medication experience with my son, so that was okay. Then the nutritionist training was next, and we waited and we waited. And the room doesn't have a good place for me to sit. You know, there's an interpreter there. Dale uses the fancy recliner. It's really not appropriate for me to be sitting in the bed. And so it was hard. All those hours of training and waiting was tough. And we finally got an answer that, oh, she's not coming. She's coming back tomorrow. So I came back to the room, and I didn't feel like ending the video. The next day she came and we did training, and you know, it was okay. She seemed to be a little bit aware and kind of had a good attitude. And I know the staff is busy and overwhelmed, but honestly, when we get home, it's just me to take care of him. So didn't help at discharge. I was already exhausted from all the meetings the day before and having to waiting on a nutritionist that didn't show up. Okay, enough of my complaining. Dale's still asleep, but he needs to take his medication at 7:30. So we need to start trying to wake him up. I turned the hall and the bathroom lights on, and I'm going to start cooking bacon and hoping that smell will help him wake up. We're definitely going to make a change to our nighttime routine. We're going to shower earlier, maybe 4, rest, have dinner, rest, and then do medicine. And we'll put on some pain patches, and we'll take a pain pill before bed. Like I said, I really think it's because his hospital bed doesn't adjust, and so he's not as comfortable. And like I said, I ordered some foam wedges to help if he has hip pain. He can't be suffering overnight, because at the end of the hospital, he wasn't taking pain medicine or using the pain patch. But at home, we're just in a different environment. He's much more active. So we were using our uncured sugar-free bacon. And our keto bread for toast, 4 grams of net carbs with 1 tablespoon of butter. And 2 eggs scrambled in 1 tablespoon of butter. I'm going to keep the eggs cold until it's time to cook, so I have to be really careful with the food safety. And we're going to save the high-protein drink because I think this is going to be enough. So the bacon's done. Let's go peek in on him, see if he's up. Because first, of course, he needs to go to the bathroom. But first, he needs to weigh every morning. Compare it to the day before, and if he gains 3 pounds, we have to call the team. He needs to take his blood pressure. Well, he has to sit 15 minutes after weighing and then take his blood pressure. He has a specific goal. If it's above or below that, we have to call. He has to take his heart rate. Same thing. There's a goal. He has to take his temperature. If it's above, we have to call. Then he has to test his sugar. All that before he eats. Now our goal is to take medicine at 7:30. It has to be consistent every day. 12 hours and 12 hours. Every 12 hours he takes medication. So he needs to start waking up. He's writing down all his vitals, and he's exhausted. Good morning. Even though it was a rough night, it's time. So we've gotten through breakfast, medicine, blood pressure, temperature, and all the things we had to do. And now Dale's in his chair, working on some communication with scheduling interpreters, etc., for upcoming appointments. And he looks good this morning. So we're going to definitely have to stay on top of his pain before bed tonight. Make sure we do all those things to make him comfortable. I just went out into the garden and harvested strawberries. Now, I didn't film because it's just way too wet, and I was in a hurry. And I'd say about a third of them were rotten from us not being home, but I was able to bring a lot inside. I'll show those to you in a minute. But I'm hungry. I've been up since 1:30. So I'm going to go ahead and, even though it's 9 a.m., I'm ready to eat. I'm going to warm up my lunch. Still a little bit frozen. Yogurt's a little slushy in the middle. So the rule is Dale can only eat unblemished produce. And everything needs to soak in water for 2 minutes. Don't have to use soap or vinegar, but all produce has to soak for two minutes, and then make sure to wash off any visible dirt. And most of these have blemishes on them. I'll save those for me, but I doubt Dale eats any strawberries today. But I will tell him, when you're ready for a keto chocolate covered strawberry, let me know. So I want to get this chance to eat, watch the birds, and have some quiet time. Dale can take care of himself right now because I can hear him if he needs me. Give me a chance to enjoy my lunch. So let's see. The green beans are 4.6 grams of net carbs. Chicken doesn't have any. The yogurt is 3.9. And the strawberries, I've already forgotten what fruit's in there. The strawberries are 1 ounce, which is 1.5 grams of net carbs. So that makes the yogurt 5.4 and the lunch 4.6. So altogether that makes it 10 grams of net carbs for lunch. Hopefully I'll see you again. Hopefully I'll see you at lunchtime. So it's time for Dale's lunch. 1 ratio protein yogurt. Let's see. This is... and we're going to add, that's vanilla. We're going to add 1 ounce of raspberries. I've already thawed them out. And then 1 grilled cheese sandwich with the same bread we used this morning. I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of butter on it, hoping to up his calories. With 1 ounce of Havarti cheese. That's 0.3 grams of net carbs. So 6 grams of net carbs for the yogurt. 1.5 grams of net carbs for the raspberries. Meaning the yogurt is 5.4 grams of net carbs. Each slice of bread is 4 grams of net carbs. That makes that 8. And the cheese is 0.3. So the sandwich is 8.3 grams of net carbs. So altogether, lunch is 15.5 grams of net carbs. It's frozen still. These are ready to go in the freezer. They haven't been grilled yet, but they've been prepackaged. Dale now requires 2 liters of water a day. That can include the milk, but a liquid that's not caffeinated. Lunch, thank you. I love you. Thank you for visiting Keto Living with Dale and Judith. See you later. Bye-bye.